is ring-a-dinging me while I'm going online. I'm just gonna... They always cut off the first minute of my videos. So, anyways, some very amazing things have happened this week. Like, in my personal life, so exciting. And also with Sassy, she wants to tell me a story. I'm just gonna tell her that I'm online. Come watch my video, because I'm gonna chit chat about what happened with her just briefly, and this week. Watch my video now. Ha! So she's gonna laugh when she sees that I'm typing that and she's getting the message. Anyways, so here I'm gonna start with the juicy bits. Today is June 25th, 2021. My name is Raven Moonstone of Raven Moonstone Art. You can follow me on my Telegram channel at Raven Moonstone Art. A big shout out to Sapphire Sky for continually keeping that alive with information. And yes, I really appreciate it. Whoop whoop. Anyways, let's talk about the label of the video, Veyerus. Why am I calling it that? Well, we all know who apparently didn't hang himself or didn't kill himself or whatever is John McAfee. Now, who is this guy? People are like, oh, what's the big deal? Well, let me tell you what the big deal is. Because I'm going to tie everything together, I hope. I'm getting goosebumps as I say this. So, basically, he's the guy who created the antivirus software that belongs to Microsoft. Now, who made Microsoft? Bill Schmates. So guess what this guy has? One of these. You don't know what this is. It's a USB stick. I don't even know how to open mine up sometimes. There we go. One of these that has 32 terabytes of data. Now, how much is that, you ask? I asked myself that question. Okay? He did the spam filtering projects. So anything and everything went through this guy. He has it all. He has it all. So, here we go. This is how many gigs. 1 terabyte of data. If you were to watch 171 hours of video at 4,000 bits of data or whatever they're called, you would get, and then you times that by 32. So this is the amount of information on that little stick, okay, that he put a kill switch in, and I'll explain how that worked. So what the amount of data on there is, we're talking 5,472 hours of data at 4,000 bytes of data, or whatever it is. So that is like basically years worth of data. Okay, now what could he possibly have? Well, my guess is that when he uploaded the company NSCWIC, which is an internet safety company of safety coordinators, we all know what that means in our language here in this world. Nothing can stop what is coming. Okay? So that was done on April 5th of 2020, where 31.72 terabytes were loaded up. SE drop 8, LE drop 8, U led by, name, wait for it, JR Lives. Okay, so how this happened was John McAfee owned MX Logic, was a spam filtering thing. What he did was he uploaded information into this company so that in case he died, then there would be somebody who would upload this. So there is a guy named Gavin McClelland, and basically the day that John's Insta went down, it sent a message over to a burn address called Whacked, and he had Whacked written on his arm with missing E, I should say. And if you geometria that, why geometry is important, it's in there too. So anyways, what he did was he put it in, and then Gavin McClellan uploaded a music video on Twitter. And there was 31.2 matching the mere amount of terabytes of data that matched John McAfee's Twitter, where he says, if something happens to me, this is what's going to happen. So that was the deadman switch, and it's been permanently recorded in blockchain. Now, people are like, well, what's blockchain? I did explain it a very quick, dirty, my mentality, which is easy for everyone to kind of get. Instead of the information where we've been passing, like, just imagine, like, this being all your information in the whole wide world, okay? And it's in electronic form. I mean, like, floating out there on waves. It used to float out on radio waves. So it would be able to grab the information from place to place, okay? Now what's blockchain is basically it, like, lasers it from one spot to another, and it catches it, grabs it so fast, and, like, make sure it's legit from the point of exit to the point of entry every time it goes. So every time it hits one of these spots, and it's pinging everywhere, your information is like bing, 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 bing. Nobody can grab that. So it's unhackable. This is the new QFS system coming, unhackable. So you have to imagine now, this is what this man did. He is the antivirus creator. So if he knew what Bill Schmates was doing the whole entire time with Microsoft and what was going on behind the scenes, and he's got spam filtering, do you not think that he has all of the information? Just saying. We're going to see the Hillary Clinton. We're going to see the Obama. We're going to see Trudeau. And this is why I'm talking about Trudeau right now, you Canadians. Pay attention. So everybody's had their doubts about Romana Didulo, and I'm going to spell it Romana Didulo. You can go put those names together on Telegram, so it's t.me/Romana Didulo. Now, this is my 4th show I'll be doing about her as well. Now, she has my utmost support and confidence. I basically have taken the week to sit in a lot of vibrations about what was happening in Canada with what's going on with this military action. So interesting things have happened. In my personal life, a couple weeks ago, I met somebody, and this is the same somebody that I met on the side of the road last year. Okay, I'm not going to mention this person's name now because I want to have a show with this person, but I'm just going to point to this person, okay, because I didn't meet this person, but it's of equivalent awesomeness, okay? So I met this person on the side of the road last year while we were going to get some water, so out by where I like to call Nipple Mountain. So if you want to go look at that video and find it, go right on ahead. Sometime in September, October. And I talked about this man, and he just blew me right out of the water with his knowledge. Now, I got invited on Sunday the 6th to the night my fish died. I got invited to go to a meeting the next day with a bunch of very high morality people here in Calgary. I'll just leave it that. Like, some of the, like, the people who are just respect completely. So if you think I have high morals, these people, like, supersede my morality scale completely. So anyways, I was told that this man that I met by the side of the road would be there. And he worked with Romana before. And I was like, oh my God, no wonder I had to meet that guy by the side of the road. And then when we were at his house, him and his partner's house, and it was just the most magical, like, I left there completely, utterly in the most highest of resonance, knowing that I now was enabling myself to go on a mission. So this person, I will tell you, I got goosebumps the whole time I'm telling you guys this story, okay? So this person, while we were there, recorded a video, and he was holding up his medals and saying that he worked with General Flynn, and hey, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, like, I knew the man was great because when I met him the second time, I told him that I gave him a hug, and I'm like, you know, there's only ever one person I've ever hugged and felt that same vibe, and it was actually Chief Dan George. And he goes, funny you should say that. I've hugged him too. And I was like, the whole time, I'm not even joking you, I was like, seriously. So we leave there, have a magical experience. On, I think it was this week, like, I've been trying to get my poop in a group. I've also been doing a lot of art. My kid from out of town is in town, and I'm super excited. So I'm trying to spend a lot of time with everybody, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so I go out walking late Sunday night, like later than I normally do, but it's super hot out. And I'm walking right by Peace Bridge, and I bump into a person that I used to go to rallies. Because I turned around and his dogs were freaking out. So I looked and I'm like, whose dog's freaking out at what? You know, I always like to see the action with animals. I think they're funny. So I turn around and I'll just say his name is D. And so he wasn't a fan of Romana. I'll just say I knew that. Like, you know, just from, I think he thought what most people felt is, why is she calling herself queen? Why is this happening? Why is that happening? Da 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 da. And feeling like the timeline would collapse in on itself, like, and people would be disappointed. And so right there on the side of Peace Bridge, I told him, I go, well, how do we know that she's not legit? Everything that, for me, and I said, I kind of told that story. I said, I've had magical experiences happening surrounding her. And every card reading I've done is so super positive, focus on trust and truth and blah, blah, blah. And I said, I really do believe that we've cracked open a timeline because certain people are activating themselves. I said, most people are just, I don't want to go to rallies anymore. I don't feel like that's effective. I want to actually do something. So what she did was she activated all these people who were sitting at home and couldn't do anything into serving cease and desist orders. Now, are they working? You bet your butt they are. Now, how do I know that? Because they took down all the signs at Safeway, and all of the only thing they have at Safeway right now is still they have the because of July 1st is when we're supposed to be normal here. They still have the glass up and people are still wearing them. There's no signs for masks. There's no maximum or minimum, whatever entry, whatever. There's no lineups. There's none of that. So, and I know they were served because I saw them on the paper. There's police that were served. The mayor of Calgary was served. City council members have been served. Hospitals have been served. Now, some people might take this as a joke, but make no mistake, this woman is 1,000% legit. Now I want to talk about what's on her page that people are bitching and moaning about, or complaining about, or being in negative vibrations about. So, I want to bring up the 215 children here in Canada that were found on May 27th, 28th. It was, when did Romana's page become active? May 27th. Interesting to me. Interesting. So, then we heard about 751 children just a day ago in Regina, to a school that operated from 1899 to 1997. 1990, let me repeat that, 1997. This was Maryville Indian Residential School. That's where the 751 children or bodies were found. Now, one of the reasons that Romana is stopping a lot of the crimes against humanities in the ways that this fella is because of how we were programmed as humans to accept things that we shouldn't have accepted, is the law of one. Now, if you think about everything that sits in our heart vibration, and above is what we're supposed to be tapping into. Any feelings of guilt, shame, sexual dysfunction, or, you know, like pedos, like all of that yucky stuff that makes us feel less than or traumatizes us, those programs need to be changed. Period. So let's think about this logically, and I'm going to give you some numbers here in Canada. And the reason why I'm tying this all together, I believe it will make sense for our new world moving forward. Okay? If we were all thinking about love in the highest of form, okay, then there wouldn't be any more 15-year-olds having sex with 24-year-olds. Or the grooming that happens. I'm going to tell a personal story, and I'll tell you why I think this law of 24 is so important from a personal perspective. And hear me out, okay? Between the ages of 15 and 19, 2,781 people are married right now. You heard me, here in Canada. Between the ages of 15 and 19 years old, 2,781 people are married. Between the ages of 20 and 24, 86,251 people, marriages exist. Okay? So if we take all of those numbers and put them together under the age of 24, let's just talk about the 90,000. Let's just round it up to 90,000 people. 90,000 people got married and are still married under the age of 24 here in Canada. Okay? I personally had a child 3 weeks before my 20th birthday. I got married when I was 20. I had another child when I was 22. I had 2 children under the age of 22, 23, and I was divorced. I got married and divorced by the time I was even 24 years old. My whole entire life, I have told my 2 older boys, I've told all my kids, all 3 boys, do not get married until you're 30 years old because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You don't have a clue. Biologically speaking, humans do not fully develop their brains until they're about 24 years old. That's males and females. That's why everybody has a quarter life crisis. What do I want to do? I went to school and spent all this money and now I can't get a job. These are all programs that we're breaking out of. The paradigm of love and raising the earth's consciousness requires us to get rid of all single parents. I was a single parent for 30 years. Let me tell you what that created in my children. Okay, I have 3 boys. Now, they have been raised primarily by me, a woman, and they are males. Okay? Not that that's a bad thing, but there hasn't been a lot of male interaction into their lives where it's come from an elder of respect. If we were born right now, like my little Earth nephew, oh, he's so fucking cute. Anyways, if we were born right now and we were told you cannot have sex until you're 24 years old, and you cannot get married until you're 24 years old, it puts the expectation of sexualization of children right out the window. We're letting kids be kids. There's no talk of, I'm going to be this sex or that sex. It's all unacceptable talk, which is what we want to remove because it's all lower vibrations. The whole lettered community, and this is coming from also someone who identified as a bisexual woman, that whole community now is gone because it takes away the lower vibrations that we need to celebrate people who have a letter. Let's go have a gay pride parade because we're all more special than the headies out there. That's what we used to call them, headies. Well, me and my friends did. Then the headies. The headies are what we're supposed to be. We are supposed to be heterosexual people. Now, that or what, I'm not getting into that conversation, but we're supposed to so we can keep procreating. Like, that's what nature is telling us. We have had the programs put on of us to feel like through vaccine or through whatever of gender modifications. It's in our food. It's everywhere. It's in the beer hops. Did you know hops were used? If you're a man, stop drinking beer. Hops were used to alleviate symptoms of menopause. Like, come on. You're turning yourself into whatever. You got it. So what I'm getting with is the age. So then I'm going to go to the next age group. So 90,000 under 24 years of age. Okay? 90,000 people. Not a lot in our 1.3 million people here in Calgary. 90,000. When you get to 25 years of age, the number to 29 years old, right now currently, there are 524,000 plus marriages. Now, go look at the statistics of marriages that survive over the age of 25 versus marriages that survive under the age of 25. You go do your own research. So if we're changing the date of consent to 24, then what we've done to the Earth's vibration is completely increased it, because we're looking at all people as equal from 0 to however they grow. It's a natural process. There's going to be more people helping each other raise each other's children because it's extensionality, and we will learn now, like we had before, where our elders are to be respected. Now, the other part of the fascinating story that I'm going to tell you goes back to the guy named D on the bridge and the guy that was in the woods one day. So there's Sassy Spice, and I'm going to bring her on the show along with that person one day to tell you the magic. Because she had to witness it by herself. It couldn't be, Raven said this, Raven said that, Raven met this person, Raven met that person. Everybody's got to see their own stuff. So I love this story. So there's Sassy Spice out there foraging in the forest on Porcupine Hill. And she meets this man. Who does she meet? The magical man that I'm at on the side of the road. She didn't, they hugged and shook hands, and it was all magical and stuff. And then up walks her other friend with that guy's wife. Partner, whatever. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Partner. Anyways, they walk up. And she's like, "Do you know Raven?" And then she asks him a whole bunch of questions. The reporter on the scene, in the middle of a forest, in the middle of the Rocky Mountains, pretty much gets the lowdown on this beautiful elder. And I was like, of course you met him. On the way home, and heard the whole thing, was D, the guy by the bridge. All I gotta say is, thank you, elder. You told me that you asked. That day we were over at his house, he recorded a video and he said, "Anybody who knows General Flynn, tell him I'm ready to work with him again." And da-da-da-da-da. And I get tears in my eyes. And that's what he did. He literally sent his self, here, you go be here to meet Sassy Spice. You go meet there to tell these people. You go be that person. So I know change is affected because days after things are happening and these cease and desist orders are being handed out, things are stopping. Here in Alberta, we were supposed to be all doing something, and then Kenny changed his mind. I live in downtown Calgary. I live on the 4th floor, and I have my bed is like elevated above the floor on a pallet, so it kind of like gets a good. I can feel the earth's vibration like when stuff is going down. There has been the other night before last, I had completely weird, crazy remote viewing dreams where I had these demonic figures that were faces. They weren't scary to me, believe it or not, but it was very weird how I was trying to describe them. And they came up from the far right of my vision and then across the left, and they were, you know, when you look at a picture in the negative, and it's, so the dark was light and the light was dark, and then around the darkness again, so the face came glowing white, like this, and then went back like it was being like lassoed back, and it just kept going like this until it was a big wave, and then it just resided like this. And I was like, trippy as balls. That was two nights ago at about 1 o'clock in the morning. So I go and put that in. There was helicopters all over downtown. There's low flying aircraft. So if there's helicopter isn't here, there's a low flying aircraft going from here to wherever. Monkey Works. If you don't follow that guy and know where all the planes are, like, he literally is awesome because he's recording it all, and there's more flights coming in and out of Gitmo now than ever. So I believe for every moment in my life right this second that military is in complete control of absolutely everything, that our leaders are arrested here in our city. They're all taken to Gitmo. Bye-bye. Smell you later. And that if we act as people armed, against the armed agents of that corporation that now I'm calling the security guards, the CPS. So the reason why we need this, if you're not familiar with what's going on, military is in place and have been in place, in my opinion, since last year. If you go from April 7th of 2020 to yesterday, April 7th, 2020 was the first day of lockdown in South Carolina in the United States. To yesterday, it was 444 days. So, I do believe here too, Canadians. I'm just going to tell you what my opinion is. And you can get mad at me all you want, and I don't really give a rip. We are now going to be celebrating our Independence Day with Americans on July 4th. If you don't believe me, go look at the countdown on Romana's page. 11 days from July 4th, it was -11. -15 was -15. I'm like, very interesting. This guy signed the United States, Canada, Mexico Agreement Treaty last year on July 1st. Trudeau never showed up for it. We are not a Commonwealth country. We are a republic right now, being controlled by a military operation. Canada is the first place to enable the people. This is going to be going on all year round. It's not going to stop activating people. So don't think this timeline is collapsing. The more effort you put into it, the more you're activating your truths in your timeline. I cannot wait to sit down with my oldest son who's in the reserves and say, I know your boss. I know, no, your real boss, not the one like you go and do your workouts at the armory over there. No, the real boss. And she means business. And why? Because these are all lower vibrations. So we're going to go through this shift of consciousness that's going to let go of all of the creepy things that we were hanging on to. I'm sorry, but if you have a problem with, like, my youngest kid is 20, not even 22, and I'm like, I'm still mothering that kid. If you think about the children that are under the age of 25 right now and what they've been trained and programmed, like, entitled is what people think. No, it's because they knew that they were here for a specific purpose. I told my son, it's all like, you're the galactic kids that were born. You checked out of the consumerism of wanting to buy a house and all of this. So the other magical thing I want to tell you about quickly is I had a conversation for a half an hour on the road the other day with a double vaxxed man that was, I don't know, about 70 years old or something. And then I had another one with a conversation with another double vaxxed person. Now, it's my understanding here in Canada, I don't know if it's true for everybody, but about 20% of the jabs have nefarious shit in them. The 80% are saline. So that's promising. However, there will be a culling of people. And I want you to look at it objectively as we are the end of World War III. People are going to die. Death is an illusion. Okay? When we ascend and we can see past, present, and future, then there is no death. I'm going to see my mom. I'm going to see my best friend Star. I'm going to see my grandparents, all of them, all my aunties and uncles, my cousin that passed away, all of them. All of them are going to be there, present, because it's energy. And we haven't even begun to grasp the type of energy that our spiritual and biological DNA do when they activate together. So, all I'm saying, it's now time to sit in your highest of frequency. If it doesn't sit in love, then it shouldn't be in your paradigm. If it doesn't sit in your vibration, I'll go back to the Hopi tribe, like the way, I'm going to probably F it up, but I apologize. But when you're going downstream as a collective in your river, and you all share the same ideals, it's a smooth, I love you, you love me, let's go, okay. As soon as somebody disagrees with you, imagine them holding on to a root on the side of the river and say, come over here. This is more important right now. What I have to say or my lower vibration. That's holding you back from keeping going with the flow. So I'm all about, I've always said, I'm adaptable. I'm like a river. Just let's go with the flow, wherever that takes us. So that's how we have to be now, is living in the present, being very grateful, being very full of love. If it doesn't come from love or above, thank it for the lesson and surrender it to love and move forward. So that's where we should all be going now with this next full moon, which was yesterday, the 24th. So I believe exciting things are happening, and everything that people thought was not happening is gonna. This guy said last night, wait till you see what I have in store for you next week as far as social media goes. People have been waiting for it. It's gonna happen. So I'm excited because I think we're gonna get a bit of Independence Day, and like the movie Independence Day, and Live Free, Die Hard, where they shut down all of the systems and gridlock people and all of that. Stay home, put on the armor of God, protect yourself with your spirits and guides and all of that. And then I think we're going to see a movie played out like that might not really happen. So maybe they'll blow up the White House like they did on Live Free, Die Hard, and they show it on TV, and then the White House is still standing there, but it's just flooded. That'd be hilarious to me. I would laugh my ass off. I'm not even gonna lie. The swamp would be like literally drained, and everybody would have an awesome show. So I think I'm gonna do a quick card reading before I get out of here. I want to thank Taco. She gave me a new deck of cards that I've been working with for the last week. I've been really doing a lot of meditation, going for walks, and doing, we got some busy ones there. Some really good card readings with the other ones, and getting familiar with them and how they apply to my life. And I always have to have a witness while I'm reading the cards, because I don't want to, ooh, these two are telling me to just, come on, I need to be heard. There's a few cards today. There's actually 6 cards. 6 cards we get. So I love it. So yesterday equaled up to 17, which is a life path 8. Today must be a 9 if we add them up together. I'm just trying to see if I can see any, okay. Yeah, Canada is no longer China. You got that right. That's what she's kicking out, all of those people. And that's exactly what I told the old man. Thank you for putting that comment in there. He's like, oh, we're owned by China. And I'm like, yeah, it's called China. No more. She's stopping all of this military act. Boom, get out of here. We don't need your shit anymore. So, okay, so here we are. First card, communication, love. Second card, nourishment, abundance, asking and receiving. Love, the cow. I have to do a mer. Oh, the swan, transformation, trusting your psychic gifts. That's what my card readings have been all about. They've been spot on. Trust, you guys. Trust. Love. The bee. This is the 4th day in a row I have gotten the bee. And it's about luck, industrious, sweet victory. Woo! And this is the 2nd day in a row I've got these 2 cards together. The bee and the stag. Pride and leadership. And it's 16 and 17. Sweet victory. I freaking love it. So I'm not going to read all the pages today. So basically, you need to clearly communicate in asking and receiving in your abundance. When you do that and you trust your psychic gifts, you will thoroughly transform. I'm just going to hold these up. Thoroughly transform, and you won't even be able to recognize yourself through your own pride, leadership, the industriousness, and sweet victory of yourself. This is the time. This is exactly what I'm saying, people. We need to clearly communicate. So give you some hints. If you're going to serve cease and desist orders, go with 3 people. 3 to smaller venues. 3 of you. 1 record, 1 to stand there kind of like whatever, and the other one to do the talking. And just say, have you heard about the Nuremberg Code 2.0? Do you know what Nuremberg Code 1.0 is? No? Okay, well, clearly explain it and just serve it. Have a nice day, walk out. Be very peaceful. Make sure it comes from love, and make sure that even when you're sending the emails and fax, you are talking to that person's higher self, saying, I hope you see this message, and I hope it stops you from furthering harming any more humans on this planet. The one more thing I wanted to mention about Romana that she put on her page. There will be intergalactic med beds put in, I'm getting goosebumps all over my body because it makes me want to cry, in all schools and hospitals and stuff to start healing humanity. Hallelujah. What were you expecting help to look like? What do you expect a military leader who's a female, who gets up every morning with the thought of stopping human trafficking and all this slave trade that has been going on with every human on the planet? What do you expect her to get up and do every morning? Put on lipstick, makeup, and do her nails? Put on some fancy clothes, sit on a fancy couch, look like Ivanka Trump? Would that make a difference? I did get mad last week when somebody put in there, I want to know what her sexual orientation is. And I'm like, I'll just bring up the movie The Contender with Joan Allen. You ask that question, and it makes it acceptable to ask the question in the first place. What difference does it make? It's not acceptable, and principles only mean something when you stick to them when they're least inconvenient. So it's not cool. Like, yeah, I get that people are all bent out of shape about the whole trans thing and them fucking with their kids. I am too. The sexualization of kids. But when you look at the message and the messenger, what is wrong with it? I see nothing. So people, especially men, you need to get over your masculine, feminine triggers and find balance in your own self. And I say that of utmost of love. This is really what I've been doing on my holidays. Like, I wasn't gonna make a video because I'm like, oh, it's fucking hot out. I want to go ride my bike and, have a good time and finish my Lady Diana poster and a picture or whatever. Play my guitar. I'm learning lots of new songs, butchering lots of new songs. I'm just kidding. Anyways, but increasing my vibration. I wanted to share this with you so you would share it with everybody else. Please share this video and know that I personally have lived my whole life by having things done to me under the age of 24 that were unacceptable. I was groomed at the age of 8, 9, 10, 11, 15. Okay? Unacceptable. Unacceptable. So I am full on board with Romana. You have my vote 1,000%. We are not going to change the vibrations of humanity if we don't change ending the trauma from single parent families. And it leaves, this is what happens. If you don't know, from a single parent family, your kids are vulnerable to babysitters, to other people looking after them, to daycares. Nanny cams were invented for a reason. Like, all of these things will now be eliminated because it's going now to what I appreciate about Greece the most. When you have kids, it's usually your grandparents helping raise the kids. You don't send them to daycare. In North America, we're so effed up in how we even give birth to children that it seems like we've been robbed of the most sacred of things that we should keep private and personal, right? We don't need a big friggin' audience or all of these things to do our work. So what I'm saying is everybody really needs to go within right now and raise your vibrations and do your work, not only by helping with the cease and desist email through a blanket email that says we the people from blah, 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 and get your heart vibrations sitting in frequency of helping humanity end this bull crap. Period. End of story. That's my opinion. You guys all go do your own research. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for sitting with me this entire time. I think it's a very important job today to everybody see where your vibes are at. Very, very important. Are we always saying things of love? Are we always being light? Let's get rid of all of our old programs. We need to. We need to stop shaming people who are stepping up and standing in their power to help us. Yahoo! We are all one. We are all one. And where we go one, we go all. And it's about to rock. Shit's about to go down. That's for you, Sapphire. Light and love, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I love and adore and appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Whoop, whoop.